The final night of the Republican National Convention will kick off in just minutes. The main event is President Trump's acceptance speech. He will speak from the South Lawn of the White House after he's introduced by his daughter, Ivanka Trump. Other speakers include Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. For more on what we can expect tonight, let's bring in CBSN political reporter Caitlin Huey-Burns and CBS News campaign reporter Nicole Sganga. Welcome to you both. Caitlin, what do we expect President Trump to address in his speech?
Well, we do expect him to address the two big news of the day items coming today, of course, the Hurricane Laura that has barreled towards the Gulf Coast, and also the shooting in Wisconsin, the police shooting of a black man in Wisconsin. But expect him not to focus on racial injustice and the protests that we've seen as a result of that, but more focused on this law and order message. We're expecting him to voice support for law enforcement and focus the news of the day on that message. We're also expecting him to draw serious contrasts with his rival, Joe Biden. We're expecting him to call him or refer to him, characterize him as a Trojan horse of sorts. Biden was among the more moderate members of the Democrats running for president in 2016 in the primary, but Republicans have been trying to paint Democrats with this broad brush of socialism. So you'll expect to hear more of that tonight from the president. And you'll also likely hear a focus on the economy. We heard this from Mike Pence last night when he gave his speech saying that the economy should be the thing that people are voting for. Who do they think is best equipped to handle the economy? And a little context for that is that a majority of Republicans think that this downturn that we're in on the economy is just temporary. And a majority of Republicans also think that they're better off financially now than they were 4 years ago. So that's kind of the backdrop to a lot of the messages we'll see tonight.
So, Nicole, if those are the broad outlines, more specifically, how will President Trump further define his plan for America's future tonight amid things like the rising racial tensions and the public health crisis?
Well, according to a senior campaign official, Elaine, the president will go in granular detail tonight about his policies, something we've truly yet to hear from any of our convention speakers so far. Now, he will make mention to, as Caitlin pointed out, some of the rioting and the demonstrations, some of the outrage we've seen in the wake of the Wisconsin police shooting of Jacob Blake. But in the context of Kenosha, Portland, Minneapolis, and Seattle, he's going to talk about how he's pro-law enforcement. Moving forward in terms of confronting the coronavirus pandemic, we do anticipate the president to both tout his administration's response and also announce the purchase of 100 million rapid coronavirus tests. This is part of a $750 million agreement with Abbott Laboratories, He'll mention that in tonight's speech. He'll also note, as Caitlin pointed out, how the economy is coming back. But as reporters, one of the things we do when we listen to the convention is we fact check. So we'll be listening to hear some of the numbers that the president cites during his remarks today. Just yesterday, Lara Trump pointed out that 4.3 million more women have jobs now that President Trump is president. Well, that was true back in January of this year. But since the coronavirus pandemic has hit, there's a net loss of women in the workplace by 3 million. So we'll also be fact checking some of the president's policy proposals as the night continues.
Well, Nicole, President Trump's first campaign stop post-convention will be New Hampshire tomorrow. What do we expect from his rally there, and how has the coronavirus outbreak restructured how his team is approaching these types of events?
Well, this is a redemption tour for the president, who previously canceled, or rather postponed, his July 11th rally in Portsmouth. We do expect that it's going to be outside at an airport hangar in Londonderry. This is also the first Trump campaign event where specifically in the invitations, masks are required. That's in accordance with the state of New Hampshire Emergency Order 63. Now, CBS News Battleground Tracker shows that New Hampshire is a lean Democrat state. But if the president is able to make an economic argument, he could curry favor with, a state that had formerly less than 3% unemployment before the coronavirus pandemic hit. He's also got a few things in his favor. Back in 2016, he did lose the Granite State, but only by 2,700 votes. Governor Sununu, who is a Republican governor in the state of New Hampshire, is very popular right now. He has one of the highest approval ratings among the country's Republican governors. So according to some Trump campaign senior officials, they're hoping perhaps to ride some of those coattails. So we'll be listening for that economic message, Elaine, and really seeing how this campaign shifts gears if it gets that post-convention bump that they're hoping for.
All right, we'll be watching. Caitlin Huey-Burns, Nicole Sganga, thank you both very much.